Okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit about Grant Duncan's first talk at the GDC here on Cobra TV. Okay, so a lot of news has come out of the GDC from Grant Duncan's first talk there, and it's pretty much information that we knew way back in July, actually, about them sending drones out into the universe to take little image, GIFs and send it back to them so that way they can see and maybe go fly to that planet and fix whatever's wrong or change something in the algorithms.
Sean's created these robots, which can, not real robots, but simulated robots who can fly down to each planet, and they record like a little animated GIF. And what we end up with is just a page of thumbnails.
So you say you've got animated GIF robot drones?
It flies down to a planet and records, a little fly through. So
that's insane.
And for a human being to do that, it would take ages. So it's a really nice way of us being able to view a crazy amount of visual data without having to do it.
But that information's kind of surface, and I can see how that is brand new information, especially to people who are just now getting into No Man's Sky. But I'm going to put some links down there, especially to Polygon. It is a decent article, and it is a good read, especially for people who didn't know about the drones. But today, joining me, I've got Phantom, and of course, the beloved Bookshelf Gaming. He's been absent here for a few videos, but he's back again. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Phantom wants to speak about with No Man's Sky. So why don't you go ahead and take the floor, buddy?
All right. Well, we definitely have been seeing a lot of hate with No Man's Sky. A lot of people just pounding on this game. And I really believe that that's just due to No Man's Sky starting to make waves in the gaming community and being such a vastly different and unique game that people are getting excited about. It's just attracting more and more haters.
Yeah, I understand that. And we were talking off record, but it's these very powerful media mongols that are, or whatever, media monsters that are armed with the wrong information.
Biggest game in the world ever of all time.
What do you mean by biggest?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different definitions of biggest.
Yeah. So I think they're creating their own definition for yes, it is the biggest.
So now that it is gaining popularity, you might have someone who never heard of No Man's Sky, and they come across this ridiculous video that I just got done watching, and that's their first impression. That's the first information they're going to get, and that right there might decide for them whether they're going to look into it further or not at all, or just automatically it's burned into their brain to hate it forever.
Well, not only that, there's also those people who are just pessimistic in the first place, and they just think that it sounds too good to be true and it's destined to fail.
Yeah.
So in turn, they end up hating it.
I've seen that a lot. Like, people are saying, I don't think they can deliver on what they promised. Like, They already have, an infinite universe, and that's another thing. The planets, how they said that you're going to have a repeat and you're going to come across things that are going to repeat. Sean Murray has stated that you're not going to run into a repeat until 5,000 years in real life. That the number that they're using to procedurally generate certain things is just that vast. And we're not talking about 4 different models for animals. We're talking thousands and thousands of different base models that the computer algorithms are going to adjust and make whatever they want. So, and as far as planets, what are planets? They're rocks, or gas planets, or, planets full of liquid. In real life, you go to one planet, it's red rock, then brown rock, and then black rock, it's just rocks and rocks and rocks and rocks. So if we go to a planet that's just rocks, and then the next one's just rocks, well, that's just mimicking real life, really.
Well, that is true. And I've seen a lot of these websites and YouTube videos just try to say that No Man's Sky, it's going to be copy paste, and you're going to go see a lot of repetition. But if you look at the trailers, you'll see some planets that, yes, do look similar, and that's going to happen.
It's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. But then if you look at Gorogol, that's the second planet from the Portal trailer.
Right.
I can't even explain what I'm seeing there. Those rock formations are just so completely unique and just shows what the engine is capable of.
Exactly. And you know what's also a good point? You know, I'm glad you brought that up. He said the deeper that you go into the galaxy, the weirder and stranger things are going to be and unfamiliar.
True. And I was just thinking of this earlier. I was thinking that I think we're going to see a lot more similar planets out on the edge of the galaxy. We're going to see a lot more of those just sort of plain planets. And as we move toward the center, they're going to become more and more unique as we start to see more alien life forms, more alien biomes, and less planets in general as well. And another planet that I really liked was Vesta Prime. That was the last planet of the latest trailer they brought out. Just because of the life forms on there, those were probably the most alien life forms they've shown so far in No Man's Sky.
Yeah, you're talking about the two-legged, backward, jointed. Yeah.
Yeah, their legs kind of had that lightning bolt shape, and they had this, that just looks like some crazy alien.
Right.
But there is one more thing about them that's very interesting. I don't know if some people have noticed this, but if you look at them, there's multiple types. I've seen the one on the far left, you'll see has scales going down its back. But then you'll see two all in the background that are very smooth, no scales. So what that says is the creature generation system is only of procedurally generating different creatures, but procedurally generating different variations within one species, which I see is amazing.
Yeah, like the deer that we've seen. There, there's bigger ones, there's smaller ones, there's skinnier ones. So yeah, you're right. They do the system, the algorithms have designed like different variations and of the same species to make them look not all like clones. So yeah, you're right.
And when I noticed that, I started looking at all the screenshots and I looked at the rocks and plants and just the little tiny details, and they all seem to be very unique. Like, it's not the one rock, or it's not like 5 different rocks copy pasted and whatever. It seems to be like just like it says on their trailers, everything is procedural.
Yep. Yes. And another misconception that I've seen coming out a lot, especially here recently, is that everyone's saying that it's randomly generated. Now, it's all permanent. You know what I mean? It's coming from a seed. Yes, it was randomly generated at one point in time. But a lot of people are misunderstood in thinking that if they keep flying, the system randomly generates planets for them and it won't be the same for somebody else. And that's not true. And I don't even know where that's coming from. Maybe it's just because that this game is so hard to really grasp and understand just by hearing a few things and watching all the trailers. You really still don't know exactly what this game is.
Right. No Man's Sky is a very hard game to explain to people who don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's because it's a very new technology as well that I can only assume that is only capable of being written on the next generation of consoles and PC and hardware.
Right. They have used this type of coding or whatever you want to call it, procedural generation before in games, but it's never been utilized to the way that Hello Games has done it. To where it was, I'm not even sure if anyone's ever done it to where it's permanent, like they've done it.
Right. They kind of went above and beyond with how much of procedural generation they use.
So yeah, the hatred, the misunderstanding, and I don't like it when devs go out and hype up their own game. Like what they did with Watch Dogs, and I'm not knocking on Watch Dogs in case there's any fans out there of Watch Dogs. But the developers of that game hyped it up entirely way too much. But there's one thing, and I know Sean Murray and Hello Games, they've all really tried to educate everybody about the game at one point in time. And I don't know if it's just that people just don't want to look it up, but I really feel like maybe Sony or Hello Games or someone bigger than me needs to educate people and have like a major go-to source, to learn about all the information that Sean Murray stated. It's almost like maybe it'd be a good thing to have on their website.
That is definitely true.
And the only reason why I bring that up is just because I love this game so much, and I know that a lot of people will. But if people come into this under the wrong shed of light, they're going to just turn their nose away, and the feeling that they get of the game is going to be tattooed forever until they see the game being played. And I've said it over and over. I really want this game to do good at launch. I know it's going to do good in the long run, but I really want this game, its launch, to be talked about for years and years to come.
Well, that is true, but I almost feel like, that's a lot to ask of a small indie company. But, like as Sean has said, as Hello Games has said, they are just happy to have people interested in their games. And with the kind of game No Man's Sky is, and I hate to compare it to Minecraft, but the kind of game that is, I just feel like it's going to blow up after launch once people start making YouTube channels,
Right.
Twitch streams, blogs about all the things that they see in the game.
And you know what? You're right. It's exactly how it's going to go down. It's that's exactly the way it's going to go. And the game's not going to pick up momentum until, like you said, people start uploading videos on Twitch and YouTube.
That's sort of how I saw it. That's sort of how Minecraft came to be as well.
Right.
Not many of us heard about that until afterwards. And the only reason I like to compare No Man's Sky and Minecraft, it's not because of the gameplay, just of the innovation. When Minecraft came out, a completely innovated gaming industry. And it filled the niche for creativity in gaming.
Yeah.
In the same way that No Man's Sky is going to fill the niche for exploration in games.
Very true. Not only exploration, but freedom to do whatever you want, And
True.
That's how I see Minecraft, is just freedom to do whatever you want. Yes, you build in it, but you could also, you could do whatever you want. You could build, you could do whatever you want with what you build. You could build whatever the heck you want. You can, just play other people's games and, just run around and just be crazy.
Exactly.
Minecraft stands for freedom,
Right, and then you can even mod the game, which
Right.
is an even higher extent. And with those mods, you can do even better things. And it's kind of just unique in that sense.
Yeah.
A lot of games don't have that, especially with the developers being so supportive of the modding.
Right. And Sean Murray's also said that he's going to support modding for the PC community too. Hey guys, thank you for coming on. It's been an interesting talk, and I love to hear all of your ideas, Phantom. It's just amazing having you on.
No problem, man. It was amazing being on here. I just want to state how amazing our community is, because we are, we're explorers. We're not the people who play Battlefield, Call of Duty, who just want to kill each other. We're not the MMO players who want to get the best gear. We're, it seems that on the Facebook page, we're just a completely different type of player, and I just want to see that unity between us, between us all. And, I want to get everybody fired up. I want to get everybody, really hopeful for this game, despite what the haters might say.
Right.
I just see that, we've got a really strong and loyal fan base, and that is one amazing thing about No Man's Sky.
You are right.
And that's because there's just never been a game like that before that brought out the exploration in people. I mean, like I said earlier, Minecraft fulfills that need to create. Well, No Man's Sky is going to fulfill the need to explore.
Yep, 100% agree, man. It's definitely a first of its kind, that's for sure.
Yep.
What an amazing thing to see, build up and release.
Yes. All right, guys. Loved having you on.
It was great to be back.
Yes, man.
Great to be on here, man.
Missed you, and it's been awesome, Phantom. All right, you guys have a good night, and until next time.
Until next time, brother.
I'll see you guys.
See ya.